What's up, YouTube? You want to know what the best thing to learn when you're first getting started into real estate investing? What's up, guys? My name is Graylan Stewart. I'm a real estate investor, wholesaler, and entrepreneur. We mostly talk about wholesaling houses on this channel, but we do a little bit of fixing and flipping. We do some buy and holds for long-term wealth as well. But today's video, I'm going to tell you why I think, what exactly I think is the best way to get started when you're doing real estate investing. So obviously it's a wholesaling channel, so wholesaling is my answer, but let me explain. So wholesaling real estate obviously is kind of where a lot of people start, but not only wholesaling, but more specifically sourcing the deal. So what I mean by that is bringing motivated sellers, getting the contract. That's the hardest part in wholesaling, and if you can learn that part alone, you can be rich, because really, if you can source deals, let's just say you started out wholesaling so you can get cash to be able to start turning that cash over into bigger cash and start buying fix and flips or buy and hold properties. But the bottom line is you source that deal. So what that means is you're good at getting contracts, okay? You're good at talking to motivated sellers, talking to them about their problems, trying to solve their problem, and ultimately, trying to just help them out of their situation, okay? And that's really the bottom line. That's what wholesaling is in a nutshell, is getting a deal with the motivated seller, okay? Because that's the number one thing that you have to learn, okay? It's sales. Any way you look at it, what we do as wholesalers is sales. You're doing sales skills when you're talking to sellers, trying to get the deal, and you're also showing your sales skills when you're talking to buyers, trying to sell that deal, okay? But the most important part of that, which is why there's a lot of cash buyers out there, that's why they look to wholesalers for deals, because they don't want to source their own deals a lot of times. A lot of them do, but most of them don't. And the reason is because it's a hustle, and it's a real business. So it kind of distracts them from what they mainly do, whether that's fixing and flipping houses or buying and holding to keep for rentals. But that's why wholesaling in general, wholesalers are so important, because there's so many cash buyers out there, more than you could ever imagine. Once you get a deal, I promise you the cash buyers will flock to you if it really is truly a deal. But sourcing the deal is kind of the foundation of wholesaling and real estate investing in general. So, for example, obviously I started out wholesaling real estate. Once I learned about it, the concept made sense to me. And I was already in sales and marketing, so it was just a good fit for me. So I was good at it right away. But not only that, I just learned as I went, and I got better and better. So now we can source deals all the time. We get deals every couple of days usually. So, cash buyers want us. They need what we have. So, but what I'm saying is I started out wholesaling, so I quickly turned into starting getting rentals, okay? It wasn't for a couple of years before I actually did my first real fix and flip. I did a couple of hotel deals to where I just took the property down and cleaned it up a little bit and sold it. But that's not really a true fix and flip. So that took me a couple of years to get to that. But what it did is provided me deals, okay? I didn't have to buy from other wholesalers to get my rentals, okay? I own close to 20 rentals now at this time in my life, and all of those I sourced myself, or my company did at least, okay? So that saved me, $10,000 or $15,000 per deal. So do the math on that, 20 properties times even 10,000 is $200,000. So that potentially saved me at least $200,000 because I sourced the deal myself. So if you can learn to source deals, you can get rich in this business, because ultimately most people's goal is to get passive income through rental properties, or to make the bigger paychecks through fixing and flipping, okay? So wholesaling allows you to do that, but without sourcing the deal, wholesaling wouldn't even be a thing, right? Because that's kind of the foundation of the whole thing. So if you can really get good, I even tell my acquisition managers, like, get good at this job. You decided to do this for a living, so why not hone in on those skills? Okay, just like you do when you're in school, you study books and literature, whatever else you study to get better at something. Okay. You don't get better just by not doing anything. So obviously, the more people you follow up with, the more sellers you talk to, the more comfortable you get, and the better you get at negotiating. The better you get at just filling them out as far as their body language, tone over the phone, even because we're completely virtual, so we don't talk to sellers face to face in person typically, which makes it even a bigger challenge. Which means it's even more of a reason that you have to get better over the phone, get better at talking to sellers. And the bottom line is when you're talking to sellers is asking questions, okay? You want them to talk 80 to 90% of the time, and you listen, okay? Of course, your 10 or 15% talking is just to prompt them for more questions. That's really what your job is when you're doing acquisitions, when you're, just talking to sellers in general. You're just asking more questions, okay? You're obviously you're trying to get the condition of the property is usually one of the most important things. But the biggest factor when you're talking to sellers, obviously, is their motivation. Because if they're not motivated, whether they need to sell or not, they have to want to sell. So if they're not motivated, it's not even going to be a deal. So you might as well just nurture that or pass on it initially, because they definitely have to have motivation, and you have to have the condition of the property. Okay, that's the two biggest things. But you also want to know their timeline. If they're not ready for 6 months, then obviously you're not wasting a ton of time initially, but you're going to nurture that along the way until they are ready. Okay, and ultimately we want to try to find out their price. Because it's easier for them to tell us a price than us to just throw one out there, because maybe we did it too high. Maybe they want way lower than we would have even asked, but maybe they want way higher than we can even be at. So it just saves us both time and energy if we can just get the price out of them. So just remember, you always want to get that out of them as opposed to you just going ahead and giving them a price. Ultimately, if you've done everything else, you've got the condition, you've got their motivation, you've got their timeline, and they just flat will not give you price, it's okay to go ahead and give them a price, but I always do a price range and make that a kind of a larger range. It could be maybe from 40 to 55,000. Yeah, that's a $15,000 swing, but based on the condition and what you told me, without really diving deep into it and seeing it for myself, this is kind of the range we need to be in. So that's kind of how we gauge that. But so this video, like I said, is about just sourcing the deal. So just keep that in mind. Whether you're getting into the game of investing, just starting out as a fix and flipper, because a lot of people do, or if you're just starting out as a buy and hold, you want to be a landlord or whatever that strategy is, where you're just keeping the property. You can start out doing those. That's okay. But if you're good at sourcing your own deals, not only will you save a lot of money, but you'll also get the best deals, okay? Because the buyers that actually buy from wholesalers like me, their end goal is they wanted to be all in, 70 to 80% in most markets. So let's just say 75, for a good average. So their goal is to be all in at 75%. So you've already taken all of that extra fat that was in there for yourself, right? Because you're the wholesaler making your fee. But if you can source that deal yourself instead of being all in at 75, maybe you can be all in at 65% to ARV, okay? Which just means you have more equity, which increases your net worth, which gives you more power and strategies with the bank, because they look at that you have a little bit more worth. And also, you paid less for the deal, so it saves you money out of pocket from paying a wholesaler, and, it keeps more money, in your pocket, and without having to pay top price as far as the buyer part goes. Obviously, buyers are still getting good deals at 25% of ARV, so they're still going to get a good deal. But if you could get 50 to 65% on the deal, why wouldn't you? That's why I say sourcing deals will make you rich. It'll make you rich because you can use it for your personal portfolio and your fix and flips. But also, if you're good at sourcing deals, you can wholesale a lot too. And that's why, our company is successful, because we're really good at sourcing deals. So that's really it. Hopefully you got value out of this. If it made sense, drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. let me know some recent deals that you've sourced, because ultimately if we're good at sourcing deals, then that just, the sky's the limit for you as far as investing goes. So anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.